It is another Thursday, and of course, it's 7 o'clock in the evening Eastern Standard Time, and that means that we are live. WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long and myself, Mac Davis. Hello, Teddy. How you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if I seem to be a little distraught here, it's because of Mac. I'm going to tell y'all, he has been so mean to me for the last 2 days. I don't know what it is, and
That's not true.
I'm in a state of distraught. Okay, so ladies, if I don't seem to be myself, it's because Matt, the way
Yeah.
he's been treating me, he has been so mean.
I hadn't even talked to Teddy probably in 4 days. Oh man, yeah. Those of you that believe that, I got another. We can sell you some swampland somewhere, I'm sure. Teddy, man, there's a lot going on. First of all, let me ask you: did you see the fireball in the sky today?
Yeah, I did see that.
You saw that. My wife
Yeah.
called. We were on the telephone during lunch, and she says, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "I think a jet just went down." She thought a jet crashed.
I
Uh,
saw it on the news. Is where I saw it at.
yeah,
Some people that saw it had filmed it, and yeah, I wasn't anywhere close to it, but I did see it on the news.
think about that. They saw that, I think, in parts of North Carolina as well, as far south. I know as at least far south as Dublin, in Georgia, because that's where she saw it. So it's just incredible. That thing must have been huge when it landed somewhere. That thing had been pretty big.
Well, it landed on some parts of it was on some people's roofs and stuff like that. They
Wow.
did get pieces of it where it hit the roof of a house or something like that. But and until they found out what that was or where it came from, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
For something like that to just fall out of the sky. I mean, it had to get up there some kind of way.
Yeah, and to be that bright in the middle of the day, I mean, the sun's shining
Yeah,
bright and that thing lights up the sky, and everybody's like, "What the hell was that?"
yeah.
Yeah, just crazy stuff. Speaking of crazy, WWE is in Saudi Arabia as of right before we went to record. We're actually go live here. There are reports they're on the ground and they're in Saudi Arabia right now. Teddy, it's just not something I can imagine as a company that is publicly traded and you have investors. If you take a group of wrestlers, high names, because they always take big names when they go to Saudi. So you got all your top guys there in Saudi. If something were to happen, I'm not wishing that on anything by any stretch of the imagination, but if something would happen, I don't think the company could survive. I really don't. Do you think that they can survive something like that?
Well, I just haven't really thought about that. I'm like you. I'm hoping nothing like that ever happens, and they don't have to even go through that. So my thing is this: I'm pretty right now. I'm saying to myself, if I was asked now, I would say no. I guess because I've gotten older now, and I just feel a little bit different about life. But I imagine maybe 10 years ago, I mean, it probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have even gave it a second thought. I'd have probably jumped right on the plane and went on right on over there with them. But right now, I wouldn't do it because there's just the world is just in too much turmoil, and me and not trying to be racist or nothing, but I'm gonna be targeted. So I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Well, I think just as an American in another country right now, and I've seen today, even in the news, where they were saying there are the warnings have been risen for people who are in other countries. If you're American, to keep your eyes open.
Right.
And now you've got a bunch of American wrestlers, with an American company coming into Saudi. I, I don't
Well,
know.
hey man,
I just like I say, I hope nothing happens. But geez,
I just they're there. Congratulations. God bless them. They're safe landing, safe trip. So let's hope everything goes good, and they make it on back to the motherland.
yeah, because people kept saying, "Oh, but it's not really that close." I don't know, Ivan. When I look at the map, Saudi Arabia is pretty damn close to where all that turmoil was taking place. So
Well,
well,
I heard something earlier, some that they did get detained somewhere before they let them come through or something. I don't know. I'm
not
just
really.
that's something I did hear.
Now, and they've had problems there in the past. At one time, Vince pulled the plug on some of the outlets in the Middle East because he wasn't getting paid his money like he should have been from Saudi in the beginning. So he pulled the plug. Well, then they grounded the air crews of these other guys trying to go home, and
Yeah.
only Vince McMahon and a handful of other people got on that plane and got out of there
Well,
until
that's
after everything settled down. But
yeah. Well, that's because Vince had his own plane.
Yeah, yeah, he can go when he
So he
wants.
was able to get out before the trouble brewed.
All right, let's see here. We got some people popping in. I'll make sure we get them in here. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is just leave us a question or a comment on the screen. Teddy will pick the best question of the night, and that person will get a free Road Trip After Hours t-shirt, like you see on Teddy right there. More than likely that one or one of the other ones that we've had several of them. So you'll get one of those t-shirts. So make sure you're part of the show. Zach is in the room saying, hey, Mac and Teddy, how you doing? We're doing good again, Zach. Good to see you in here.
Nice to hear
And
from you, Zach.
pretty classy lady. The new intro was funny. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you. I
Just
know.
horrible. Just horrible. That's the worst I've ever heard.
Yeah, I always try to give something a little bit odd and different in there if I can, just because I know you're waiting for the countdown. At least give you something to watch. It's kind of interesting. Let's see what
I'd
else we
rather
got.
watch paint dry.
Well, that's about how it is when I'm around you when we go to the shows. Pretty classy lady. Tell Rufus I said, hey.
Hey, Rufus, now let me take the
Yeah,
phone here.
where's
Rufus, you
Rufus?
better not know he is laying right here.
Look at when you are laying down on the job, Rufus.
Now, Rufus is on guard there. He's my bodyguard, so he's watching me.
Well, he's not paying attention to me on the phone. That's for sure. He's probably bored of hearing my voice.
Well, there he is right there.
All right, so let's see. We also have Curly Man saying, hey, guys, good to see you in here too, brother. Says, hi, Mike and Teddy. I got the shirt, and I will post the shirt on Facebook of me on social media. We appreciate that. Make sure you tag us in there, and we'll throw it up in there. I tried to get, we had somebody else, Buddy, got his T-shirt, and I had a picture of that. I was going to try to put it into the room, but I could not get it to download for whatever reason. So we'll try that again next week because I do want to show the people who have their T-shirts that they put on social media. Let's see. We also have Plot Twist Jones. Hey, guys. Dutch
Plot Twist Jones. Yep. I love it.
Dutch told this story once about Brad Maddox getting fired after a dark match and a promo. Were you there, Teddy? And what happened if you were?
No, I wasn't there. I don't remember. I don't even remember that.
No, I really don't either. But I wouldn't put it past some of that. I saw, where was it? Flash Gordon, one of these characters early on in WWE. There was a video flying around. It was one of the worst matches I have ever seen. He didn't get a job. He was in a dark match. But oh God, it was horrible. All right, let's see. There are some rumors about WWE. You know, they got into that new building, Teddy, the one that they just built and everything.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying now that with at least the rumors going around that once the lease is up on that building, they're going to move to Las Vegas. So headquarters will now be in Vegas if the rumors are true. And that wouldn't surprise me, considering how much is already done there anyhow.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, I can too. Also, we have Renee Adams in here. Hey, Mac and Teddy, how are y'all doing today? Trying to stay cool here. Yeah, it's hot in Georgia.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do here too, is stay cool, man. I mean, it's and then not only that, it's hot and it's storming. They got tornadoes and everywhere.
Did you have any bad weather last night? Because we got some that came through here late at night.
I did. I never did. I could hear it. I never did get up out of the bed and look out the window, but I did hear the thunder and lightning a little bit around 11 last night.
Yeah, I saw Fred Ottman. He had posted that he won't be going to a show this weekend because the tornado came through his neighborhood and basically tore everything up. And I've seen some video from Largo, Florida. If you're from that area, hey, our prayers are for you guys because I know there's a lot of damage there. I saw a particular video where it picked a house up off the foundation, lifted it almost sideways for a few seconds, and then dropped itself right back on the foundation again. Just incredible winds and damage. And yeah, the storms have been absolutely nuts. What else we got here? We got Zack Teddy. As someone that has made a great stamp on professional wrestling like you have, what is a storyline that took you back to being a fan after so many years in the business?
Oh God, I don't know,
man.
That's a
good question too.
That really is a good question. I remember them doing something, and it reminded me of something I did back in the day in WCW and NWA. I just can't remember what that was, but I have had that experience. I have seen stuff, and I'm like, wow, I've done that, back there, I had experience. I just can't remember what it was, but if it comes back to me, man, I'll let you know.
Was there a moment for you at some point? This is basically the same kind of question, but was there a point even before you got into wrestling of a rivalry or something in wrestling that really hooked you?
No, I don't know. I'm sure I told you how I got involved in wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, I was never, like I said, I didn't never, know about being a wrestling fan or nothing like that. So what I did, remember I told you I worked for James Brown.
Yeah.
Well, James Brown had a TV show at Atlanta at the old TBS studios, and it was like the show Soul Train. Soul Train is the
Yeah.
Don Cornelius where all the people
Soul
dance and all that.
Train.
Right. Well, James Brown had this show called Future Shock, and James called me, and I went to work for James, and I was the music director there, selected the music for the people to dance by. Well, by me being down there, well, like I said, I could see them on Saturday. We would tape somewhere on one studio, and then the other studio on Saturday night, Friday night, they would always come down and put that ring up. And I started seeing them putting the ring up for the Saturday morning's TV taping. So what happened on Saturday mornings, I started going down, taking me and my son to go watch the wrestling because I didn't have no problem getting in because, they knew I worked there for James, so I could always go in the back like everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's how I started going there. And then, like I said, I run into Abdullah. Make a long story short, I started taking him around and everything. And then I started being able to get in the back with Abdullah. And so one thing led to another, and here I am today.
By the way, last week I had mentioned I wanted to get Herb Simmons on to talk about Abby. He's going to join us next week. We'll have him on for a few minutes and talk about the situation with Abby in the book and the whole hoopla that's going on there. So we will talk about that next week. I didn't want you to think we forgot. In the meantime, we need to break away, Teddy, because it's time to open that mailbag. Here we
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
Let's get inside this mailbag and see what we have. First question comes from Nina the Hyena. I like
What?
that. Nina the Hyena.
All right.
All right, brother. Let's see. Dear Teddy, what do you watch for entertainment? Favorite movies or TV shows?
Family Guy.
I knew you were going to say that. That is your favorite show of all the shows. You love Family Guy, don't you?
I like Family Guy, and I like the cop show that On Patrol Live. I like that.
So what do you watch the most?
Family Guy. They're on
Family
every
Guy.
night, and they're on 2-3 channels. Man, people really don't know how hot Family Guy is. This show they run 2 or 3 shows a night all the week. Okay, people watch that. I'm telling you.
I used to watch with my kids at one time something called Rugrats that was on TV. That was hilarious. I mean, today's cartoons, and back when I grew up, we had Bugs Bunny and people like that, and they would have political humor that the kids would never catch. It just went right over your head. But now, man, they're just out and out, just saying what they want to say.
You can't have your kids watch Family Guy. I mean,
Oh,
they
no.
say some stuff on there, and then think about them now. These guys got to be on some good weed. They got a gay baby.
Things are crazy, brother.
How
Things
do
are crazy.
you come up with this? And you got a dog there that's running to the gay baby, asking him to piss for him, so he can pass the drug test. The dog.
Not for kid consumption, obviously. So speaking of which, we were talking about Buddy a while ago, man. Buddy, Nick, our friend Joe Hamilton Jr., if you don't know who he is, his dad was famous in wrestling. Now, I'm just going to tell you, go look him up. If you don't know that name, go look it up. But he's saying he saw the picture of Buddy with the new shirt, and he said he's looking cool, player.
All right. Hey, thank you so much. Gleeky Beat. See, a lot of people don't know about Gleeky Beat. That's me and him going way back.
Oh, okay, hold on. You're going to have to, you can't just throw that out there. You got to explain yourself. What is it now?
Me and Nick, we always stayed, mellow. And so one day I just started calling him Gleeko Beak. And
Yeah. So, see, now I know why he likes Family Guy, because he likes the same thing the writers like.
Exactly, exactly.
Pretty classy lady is saying she's in Georgia and they had some crazy lightning. Yeah, the lightning was incredible last night. It's like a strobe light going off. Michael Wren, hey guy, Mr. Mac and Teddy Long Times just got finished watching the Bad Check promo with Teddy. Do you remember that?
Check from Eddie Guerrero. I don't know what he's talking about. I remember.
Not sure either. Hey, Michael, you may need to send us kind of clarify a little bit what you're talking about, because I can't remember that, to be honest with you. Let's see. Fred Ottman is the dude. Yeah, he is. I'm so glad my son and I got to meet him together at SICW Fan Fest 1. Yeah, he's a really good guy. His entire family, his wife, and people that I've ever known that work around Fred, everybody's just good people, and it's hard to find that, but he is good people, and hoping the best, with hopefully no damage to him. I know his wife got real shook up from it last night.
Yeah, he's a real super nice guy, man. Real nice guy.
Yeah,
so let's pray for him and his family, man.
Let's see, next question. The mailbag Gerald wants to know, what are the big name wrestlers in today's wrestling? Is there a bigger than life personality like in the days of Hulk Hogan?
I don't know. I think some guys are pretty close to that. You know what I mean? I really do. There are a lot of guys that really impress me that I see now. Things are a lot different now from the Attitude Era, but they're just like I said. For some reason, I know I'm a Gunther fan too. For some reason too, he does impress me too. I think he's got what it takes to make it in this business. He has the look. The promos are very good, you know what I mean? And he's not a bad worker in the ring. So watching him.
Yeah, believability.
Yes. Then, like I said, I love Sami Zayn. I wish they, maybe find something for Sammy, because he can entertain you. And he's a great entertainer.
There he is. Let's see. We also have Plot Twist Jones. The Brad Maddox incident happened in the Dunking Center. I remember he said something in a dark promo. He called the fans something not even a top bad guy would say. Remembered it because of Dutch. I still don't know the story. I'm going to have to ask Dutch about that. He'll be with us on Friday night on Sportskeeda. So I'll bring that up to him. I'll bring that up to him. Let's see what else we got here. We have Chris C-Dub right. Hey, Chris. Love it. Family Guy. There's an old man just like Cleveland Brown and talks like him too. And let's see what else he's got here. Austin Towers thinks he keeps going around kicking 40-ounce dub in the head.
Okay, I don't. You lost me there too.
I thought you got it. I thought you were laughing because you got it. I'm like, I don't know what he just said.
I didn't get it. I see Austin Towers.
He's drinking that energy drink.
Maybe he's trying to say Austin Towers. Who does he think he is? Keeps going around kicking 40-ounce dudes in the head. Dudes. That's what I think he's saying. Dudes in the head. So you got me.
You got him all messed up. Let's see what else we got here. Curly Man. Hey, Mac and Teddy. I just wanted to thank you guys for the podcast each and every week. I always look forward to you guys every Thursday. And we do it at 7 o'clock Eastern time for those of you who are just tuning in. Just want to say thanks for the entertainment every week. Hey, Curly Man, I'm going to tell you, and I know Teddy's going to say the same thing. We appreciate you stopping in and listening to us every week. That means a lot. When you guys share this and grow this show, which you have done. I was saying this on another show with Teddy the other day. We have garnered like 300 new subscribers in just a couple of weeks. And it's because the people that are in this room right now, you share this and you let other people know about it. And our show has continued to grow. And also a big shout out to our podcast listeners on Apple and places like that. We are constantly doing very well there too. It's something I don't keep an eye on that much because I really just kind of do this for the video portion. But those who are listening to us, man, we appreciate it. And there are hot spots like South Africa is a hot spot. USA is a hot spot. Ireland and Canada are hot spots for our television show with our podcast. So thank you very much. I don't want you to think that we're not seeing that. We are, and I appreciate that very much.
And I just want to reiterate that too, man. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I said, help us to subscribe. And not only are we going to be giving away T-shirts, but we're working on other stuff, and
Yes.
that we're going to be trying to give away too. It's kind of a show of we appreciate you subscribing, so we want to show you that we appreciate it. So
Yeah.
we're going to work on some other stuff to give you guys too. So
And we
thank
got
you again.
Yeah, and we got some plans for some things with this show as we move on. Teddy and I have been talking about it. We know we're live on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock, but if Teddy and I are on the road, there's no reason we couldn't do a show live from inside wherever we are with you joining us there live as well via the internet. So that's coming up soon, so keep watching for that too. Let's see, we got a couple more things in here. Plot Twist Jones saying, how can we watch those full episodes on Sportskeeda and the other channel? I only see clips. That's a good question. I'll tell you that I have seen recently where Sportskeeda has started to farm out those shows in full on the podcast platform. So if you go to Apple Podcasts or somewhere, just type in the show you want and it should pop up. If it doesn't, send Sportskeeda a message, and I'm sure they'll tell you how to find it. But I have heard they started running those as full podcasts, full shows, instead of having to get the clips like you get. Let's see. We also have Chris C. Dub just sent you a pick, Mac. Teddy, let's see what this pick is. I'm afraid to even open this up. Let me see here. Let's see, because Chris, it won't open. Sorry,
Well,
Chris.
that's the problem.
It's closed off as saying, no, don't take this. No, it's for whatever reason, it's just having a hard time opening it up. So sorry about that. All right, let's go. Jack in Atlanta with another question. Who do you stay in touch with from your days in wrestling? And do you ever speak with Vince McMahon? That's an
Wow.
interesting question for many reasons.
Yes, 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 yes. And you know exactly what I thought about.
Yes, sir, I do.
Ron Simmons is somebody that I stay in touch with. Me and Ron, we talk at least twice a week. Get a chance sometime to speak with Luger. Basically, when I do see some of the guys is when I go to the Comic Cons or to the different signings and stuff. That's where I basically see a lot of guys. And no, I haven't had the chance to speak to Vince McMahon. I'd like to, but I haven't had the chance to.
You never know. Maybe the opportunity will arise.
You never
Let's
know.
see. Sarah with a question is actually name association. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 names that she has in this list here. We'll get to as many as we can and take your questions. If you have a question for Teddy or anything in general, just throw us the question and we'll throw it up on the screen. It doesn't cost you a nickel. You don't have to buy a super sticker and everything else. This show is free. Absolutely free. All right, so let's see. The first name and the name association I have here, Teddy, any kind of memories or thoughts? And the name first is Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy Snuka, real nice guy. Had the opportunity to hang with him for a couple of days. Real good friends with his daughter. With her, she's very nice too. Been knowing them a long time. But yeah, Snuka was really a nice guy. Like I said, I had a chance to hang out with him for a while. Had a blast.
Was he a quiet guy? I guess I would always kind of imagine him being a really quiet individual in the back.
Well, yeah, he was kind of quiet. He wasn't one of these loud, boisterous guys like you see in the back. He always, I mean, he talked to you, but he always kind of kept to himself too. But he was real low key.
All right, now somebody that may not have been as low key, Roddy Piper.
I spoke to Piper a little bit. We didn't talk a whole lot.
You said you smoked with Roddy Piper?
I spoke with him a little bit.
Spoke, okay.
Okay. No, I never. Let me correct that. Never smoked anything with Roddy Piper. Just only spoke with him a little bit. We talked every once in a while. He wasn't a guy. That we just hung out and had a big conversation on that. But I remember one time we was overseas and golly, this guy, golly, Simon Dean, I think that was his name. He was you might remember him. He went overseas with us or something, and somehow he did something to Piper's bag or some kind of way. But anyway, I think Piper ended up throwing all of his clothes in the shower and wet up all his clothes. So that night he had no clothes to wrestle in. So
Well, good. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what he expected. If you're going to screw with Roddy, you know he's
yeah,
going to come
he
back. He
went
ain't
in
going to leave you
Piper's
alone.
bag or something he did overseas. But like I said, I remember Piper threw all his stuff in the shower.
Hey, I'm hearing that Vicky Guerrero may be making an appearance back in WWE again soon. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I saw that on Wrestling Inc.
I'm wondering if that has anything to do with maybe the Evolution pay-per-view or premium live event that's coming up that's all female. I wonder if that's some of the involvement she may have, because I'm not sure where she would fit in right now. I'm sure they could, put her somewhere, because she's kind of like you. She has that personality that people will always embrace. They're never going to boo her out of the building except for out of love, like they usually do. But so it'd be kind of nice to see her come back. That is a familiar name I'd like to see back around.
Yeah.
Let's see, Zach. This is one of the podcasts I look forward to every week. Watch you guys have helped me with our podcast, Falls Count Everywhere. Zach, I'm glad that is the case, and I think you also have an anniversary that's coming up. If I'm not mistaken, is it 2? Hang on, I might be able to tell you that as well. I think I got something. No, I can't. But I think it maybe is your second year, if I'm not mistaken. But let me know. But this is that's good news for you guys. And it took Teddy and I with our podcast almost 2 years until we started really feeling the traction we wanted to feel. So don't give up. Keep your head up and just keep plugging away. That's all you can do.
And remember, balls count everywhere.
Oh, they're going to love that. All right, let's see. We also have Chris in here. As a fellow bald guy, what shaver do y'all use? I managed to get a hookup from the Freebird that sent me a free shaver. I've seen the Freebirds. Teddy, what do you use? Just a plain face razor or what?
No, I use a Gillette razor, the one that has the battery operated. All you do is just push the battery in and you just hold the button and it comes on and it glides. Then after I use it, I have another one that I use as like a roller, the one that fit in my hand and goes all over the head. So I use the razor first and then I use the roll one.
I use a Headblade. It's a product where it looks like a Hot Wheels car almost, but it has wheels and a blade on it. And you just kind of fit in your hand and just and that's it.
That's what I got. It's got the wheels on it. 4 little wheels. And it has a little blade on the end too if you need to trim something.
Yep. So those are pretty cool. One day they'll have one of those things probably where you just put it on your head and it'll just move around by itself. And you just
they got them now, man. I seen one they was talking the other day. It was a little small one, but brother, just glide. It just you were done just like that.
Let's see. Zach was also saying that Vicky is a treasure, and Herb Simmons popping in. We were talking about you a while ago, Herb. Your ears must have been burning, saying good evening.
Hey, good afternoon.
And Zach, okay, I knew it was something like that. What do I do? I didn't try to luck you out here. Here we go, Zach. Why are you not showing up? All right, Zach was just saying it's his 200th episode. I don't know what happened to it, but I was throwing him up there, and I think I deleted it. But it's their 200th episode of Falls Count Everywhere, so that's really good.
Well, let's congratulate them too, because those guys have really worked real hard to get where they are today. They've done a great job, man. So congratulations to you guys, and just keep on doing the hard work. And like I said, players, Falls Count Everywhere.
All right, here's a few more names for you before we get out of here. If you have a question fired in here, we got a few more minutes here. Maven is the next name.
Oh, what a nice guy. Met him way back in the day when I first started, bro, in New York. That's the old school way. You didn't say WWF, you're going to New York.
Yep.
So, he was one of the guys that started with Tough Enough and all that. So, and I had a chance to see him, every once in a while on some of the signings. But he has also had a great attitude and a great guy. So, hey, Maven, good guy.
Let's see. Taz is up next.
I had Taz is one of the guys I first met, when ECW was running, and then that's when Vince had bought ECW, and Taz and all those guys that came over, they were working for Vince. So I had a chance to talk with Taz. It's been a long, long time, but he was always a nice guy. Never, no attitude problems or nothing. He was the guy that you could talk to.
Now, I know that Undertaker, was a good friend of yours back in the day. What about, though, and this is the last name on this name association list, Paul Bearer?
Paul Bearer was great, too. Paul Bearer always loved to prank. You know what he did one time? I
Uh-oh.
remember one time I had just called home, and so my wife, God rest her soul, she's gone now. But anyway, I was checking on the dogs, so they hadn't fed the dogs or nothing. You know what I mean? So man, I'm really pissed now. So I go to Paul Barra. I got to let this out on somebody. So I go to talking to Paul Barra, and I'm telling him, Paul, God damn it, man, they don't even feed the dogs. I'm just going off. So anyway, I'm standing there, but this time my phone rings. So then my wife, that's her on the phone. So I put her on speaker, so I could talk to her and everything. So, and soon as I do that, Paul takes the phone and he says, yeah, Mrs. Long, he was talking about how you don't feed the dogs, how you don't do
Oh.
nothing. Oh, he threw me right on the bus. He told her everything I said. That's a true story right
Hey,
there.
but at least you found out what you really thought. So did she start feeding the dog after that?
No. I had to let the dogs go. They were just I couldn't trust nobody with them. But now I'm back on the road, me by myself and my dog and my well anyway, my pretty lady in Carolina.
Yep. Let's see. Herb Simmons popping in and saying today is JJ Dillon's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday. Yeah, drop by. Let JJ Dillon know it's a good birthday. Go ahead,
All
Teddy.
right, happy birthday to you, JJ.
Yeah, I haven't seen JJ. I saw his daughter not long ago and was asking about him, and she's told me he's doing well. JJ,
I saw him in Indianapolis. The last show I did there, that in Indianapolis, Indiana, that he was there. I had a chance to see him there. Him and Barry Windham.
yeah, I remember it was a couple years ago. We were in New York, and I was sitting at the bar, and he sat down, and we started just talking. He just would talk about the old days. Man, I just sat there and listened, hearing the old stories of the Four Horsemen and stuff. And I wasn't even asking him. He was just willingly giving me stuff and telling me things that just blew my mind. But he was always a really cool guy with me. Also, Chris C. Dub Wright, the cucumber story always pops me. Good old Percy, love him. There was something about. Tell me about the cucumber. I do remember that, Teddy. Was it Rikishi or somebody who didn't like cucumbers?
I think it was Taker.
Was it Taker?
I think
There is somebody who had a fear of cucumbers. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I think it was Taker.
You got any phobias, Teddy?
No,
Anything? No phobias at all.
not that I know of.
Yeah. Not that you found out yet, huh? All right, Teddy, you got to pick a winner for tonight. Question of the night. Who's that going to be?
I think I'll pick the guy that wanted to know had I spoke to Vince McMahon.
Yep. Okay, that is, hang on for a minute, and I'll tell you, because I just saw that. It's Jack in Atlanta. Do you ever speak with Vince McMahon? Yeah, so Jack will get you a T-shirt, and just send me your information through a private chat or something, and I will get that out to you. And everybody else has got their shirt, from what I understand, so everybody's caught up and everybody's good. Man, I enjoy this. This is a lot of fun. Teddy and I, this, for us, this really is just one of those free shows that we do that we enjoy, because nobody's telling us what to do. We just talk and say whatever the hell we want. And I enjoy that. There's no chains on us. And that's the way I love to operate.
Freedom of speech. That's what this country is supposed to be, right?
Yep. Chris C. Dub Wright also is confirming it was the Undertaker with a fear of cucumbers.
Yeah.
If we ever get him on the show, we're gonna have to remember to do that. Maybe have some cucumber sandwiches or something.
No, don't do that.
No. All right, we're out of here. We hope to see you again next week, same time, same place, right here on Facebook and on YouTube, or if you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your favorite podcast, that's where you'll find us. I'm Mac Davis, and that is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. We'll see you
All the
again
players,
next
keep
week.
your boots on the ground.